Now we're going to learn about prorating. So medium-sized and large companies are often organized in departments. And a department manager's work performance is oftentimes partially measured by how well they stay within their budget. For example, a manager might be given a $200,000 annual budget, and the manager might get a $1,000 bonus if she stays below her budget. This means she needs to keep her expenses below $200,000 in a year. So then the question becomes, well, which expenses go towards her department? Some expenses are specific to her department and they're easy to figure out that they go to her department. Like the salaries of the employees that work for her, those salaries are expenses and they go towards her budget. But her department also gets a portion of company-wide expenses like rent expense, electricity expense, etc. So the accountants in the company had to figure out what portion of the rent expense is going to go towards her department, what portion of the electricity expense is going to go towards her budget, etc. So how do the accountants determine how much of the company's rent and electricity expense goes towards her department's budget? Well, they use a process called prorating. Prorating is the dividing up of an amount according to percents or a ratio between amounts. So this prorating process is used in preparing budgets, dividing expenses, and distributing profits. So of course we will do examples. So let's talk about rental expense. A company could decide to divide its rental expenses among its departments according to the space each department uses. So this works well if the company is organized physically into a certain department is in a certain area of the building. For example, if a department used 25% of the space, it would get 25% of the rent expense allocated towards its budget. So let's do an example. So this company has total rental expense of $220,000. And we need to figure out how much of the department, and the departments are creatively called A, B, C, D, and E. We need to figure out how much of the $220,000 of rental expense each department is going to get towards its budget. And this company decided to prorate it based on the percentage that each department takes up of the space. For example, Department A takes up 25% of the building space, so they're going to get 25% of the rental expense towards their budget. So to calculate Department A's portion of the rent expense, you're just going to take $220,000 times 25%. So $55,000 of the $220,000 rental expense will go towards Department A's budget. So to calculate Department B's budget, you're just going to take $220,000 times the amount of space they use, which is 14.3%. That gives you $31,460. Department C, $220,000 times 11.7% gives you $25,740. Department D, $220,000 times 9.5% gives you $20,900. And Department E gets $86,900 of the $220,000 of rental expense. Now, this is the part that students always forget. You need to add up these numbers, $55,000, $31,460, etc., to make sure they add up exactly to the $220,000. In this case, they do. But if they did not, what you would do is you would find the largest department, in this case Department E, and you would adjust its number, the $86,900, either up or down to make sure that those numbers equal $220,000 exactly. Again, we don't have to do that with this one because they do happen to add up to $220,000 exactly, but they won't always.